Should you buy a condo, a townhouse, or a single-family house? Most people think it is a budget question, but it is actually a question of how much you value your weekend mornings. A condo might be the most expensive way to buy back your time, or it could become an expensive mistake if you choose the wrong building. In this video, I'm going to break down the real pros and cons of condo living in Northern Virginia. We will talk about price, commute, convenience, amenities, monthly fees, maintenance, special assessments, rules, resale value, and the trade-offs that buyers often overlook. And towards the end, I'm going to explain the lifestyle trap that causes some buyers to purchase a perfectly nice home and still regret the decision. I'm Brian Block. I'm a Northern Virginia realtor, managing broker, and former attorney. And after helping buyers and sellers throughout Northern Virginia for more than 2 decades, I have seen people make excellent decisions with condos. I have also seen buyers fall in love with the view, the kitchen, or the monthly payment without fully thinking through the lifestyle that they were buying. A condo is not simply a smaller version of a townhouse or a detached home. It is a fundamentally different way of living. And depending on your priorities, that can be either liberating or incredibly frustrating. Let's start with the biggest advantage. A condo can allow you to live closer to the places that you actually use. That might mean metro. It might mean a shorter commute into DC. It might mean being able to walk to restaurants, coffee shops, parks, grocery stores, gyms, nightlife, or the waterfront. In Arlington, this can mean Ballston, Clarendon, Courthouse, Roslyn, National Landing, or Pentagon City. In Alexandria, it might mean Old Town, Carlisle, Potomac Yard, Eisenhower Avenue, Huntington, or the west end of Alexandria. And in Fairfax County, it might mean Tyson's, Mosaic, Dunloring, or other areas near the Orange Line and the Silver Line. Now, compare that with the alternatives. You may be able to purchase a larger townhouse further out, or a detached house with a yard even further away. But bigger is not automatically better. Let's say that your move adds 30 minutes to your commute each way. That's 5 additional hours every week, approximately 20 hours every month. Over the course of a year, that's about 10 full days of your life spent sitting in traffic. That doesn't mean that moving further out is necessarily a bad decision. A larger townhouse or detached home may be exactly what your family needs. However, buyers often compare houses by counting bedrooms and square feet while ignoring the value of their own time. In Northern Virginia, time can be the most expensive feature of all. Condos are often the entry point into home ownership in the closer in parts of Northern Virginia. You may not be able to afford a detached house in North Arlington, but you may be able to purchase a condo. Perhaps you can't purchase a townhouse in Old Town Alexandria at your budget, but a condo near King Street, Carlisle, or the Eisenhower corridor may be within your reach. Maybe you want to live near Tyson's, the Metro, or a major employment center without paying for a much larger home that you do not really need. That is where condos can open doors. But here is the catch. A lower purchase price does not always mean a dramatically lower monthly payment. With a detached house, many of your expenses are less visible. You pay for the roof when it needs replacement. You'll pay for the HVAC system when it fails. You pay for landscaping, exterior maintenance, snow removal, insurance, repairs, and any unexpected problems when they arise. Now with a condo, many of these costs are consolidated into one monthly fee, and that fee may cover some combination of exterior maintenance, roof and common areas, water, other utilities, trash removal, landscaping, snow removal, building insurance, a front desk or concierge, pool, gym, and/or clubhouse, security, and controlled access. But every community is different. So do not ask only, how much is the condo fee? Ask, what am I actually receiving in exchange for that fee? Some buyers see a condo fee and they immediately say, why would I throw that money away every month? The owner of a townhouse or detached house is also spending money on maintenance. The difference is that those expenses arrive unpredictably. You may go months without a major problem. Then suddenly you need an expensive new roof, a new HVAC system, tree removal. A condo fee is not automatically a bad thing, and it's not automatically a good value either. A well-managed building with realistic reserves, consistent maintenance, and amenities that you actually use can offer tremendous value. On the other hand, a poorly managed building can become an expensive headache. And sometimes the building with the lowest fee is not the bargain that it appears to be. Low fees may mean fewer amenities, or they may mean that the association has postponed maintenance and failed to save enough money for future needed repairs. That can come back to haunt the owners later. But your condo fee does not just go towards a building. It goes towards a specific lifestyle. Depending on which building and where you choose, that monthly check might be paying for a rooftop pool in Roslyn, a staffed front desk in Tyson's, or a quiet garden courtyard in Alexandria. When buyers tell me that they're considering a condo, my first question to them is, what kind of condo lifestyle do you want? A condo in Roslyn and a condo in Alexandria's West End may both technically be called condos, but they're offering completely different experiences. A high-rise may offer views, elevators, garage parking, controlled access, a front desk, fitness center, package management, and an urban or semi-urban lifestyle. This can be ideal for someone who travels frequently, works long hours, or wants to lock the door and leave without thinking about exterior maintenance. However, elevators, staff, large common areas, and extensive amenities cost money. A garden-style condo may feel more residential. You may have mature trees, outdoor space, easier parking, fewer neighbors sharing your entrance. Some communities feel almost like small neighborhoods. It may also offer more space for the money than a newer high-rise building. But older buildings require a closer look at plumbing, roofs, windows, balconies, common areas, and maintenance history. Some Northern Virginia condo communities include homes that feel more like townhouses. You may have a private entrance, multiple levels, and more separation from your neighbors, but the ownership structure is still a condo. And that means you need to understand which repairs belong to the individual owner and which repairs belong to the association. At the higher end, condo living is not necessarily about affordability. It may be about convenience. Some buyers can easily afford a detached home, but actively choose a condo because they do not want the burden of maintaining the house. For many buyers, the hardest decision is not condo versus detached house. It's condo versus townhouse. In Northern Virginia, a townhouse may give you more living space, more storage, multiple levels, a garage, a patio or small yard, more privacy, and a traditional residential feel. And a townhouse can be a great middle ground. You may not want the maintenance burden of a large single-family house, but you still want space for a home office, children, guests, pets, or storage. The trade-off is responsibility. Depending on the community, you may still need to maintain the roof, windows, driveway, deck, fencing, landscaping, and exterior. And many townhouses still have HOA fees. Now, these fees are often lower than condo fees, but they do not eliminate shared community expenses. Choosing between these two can sometimes be a difficult choice. It is nothing compared with the lifestyle trap I'm going to warn you about in the conclusion of this video. The wrong decision often looks completely reasonable on paper. A detached house gives you the greatest degree of control. You may have a private yard, a driveway, garage. You may have more storage, more privacy, and more freedom to renovate as you wish. You're not sharing a hallway, and you're not waiting for an elevator as you would be in a high-rise. You're less likely to hear your neighbor's television through the wall. For many families, a detached house is still the long-term goal. However, a detached house can also become a part-time job. The lawn needs attention. The gutters need cleaning. The landscaping grows whether or not you have the time for it. And the exterior needs maintenance. When it snows, you may be outside with a shovel or paying someone to plow. When the roof leaks, there's no management office to call. When water enters the basement, it's your problem. When water enters the basement, it is your problem. For some people, this is completely acceptable. They want the yard. They want the space. They need room for children, dogs, gardening, entertaining, or a home gym. For other people, the detached house becomes an obligation that competes with the lifestyle that they thought they were buying. Condo may be a better fit for someone who values freedom from the house more than freedom within the house. Condo living can be especially attractive for busy professionals, frequent travelers, first-time buyers, downsizers, empty nesters, buyers who want metro access, people who don't want yard work, and buyers who want what we call a lot and leave lifestyle. So imagine two buyers with the same income. One Northern Virginia buyer dreams of a large backyard, a two-car garage, a workshop, and weekend projects. That type of person may feel trapped in a condo. The other Northern Virginia buyer works very long hours, travels frequently, enjoys restaurants, coffee shops, and wants to walk to metro. That person may feel trapped in a detached house 45 minutes further away. the right property is not always the property with the most space. It's the property that supports the life you actually want to live. Now, let's talk about the risks. Because when you buy a condo, you're not only buying your unit and within your four walls, you're also buying into the financial health and decision-making of the entire community. That means you need to look beyond the kitchen and beyond the view. You need to understand whether the condo association has been saving from major repairs. You need to know whether the building has recently raised their condo fees. Look for upcoming projects, pending lawsuits, insurance concerns, rental restrictions, pet rules, parking rules, major maintenance issues. You'll get this information in the condo resale package that's required to be given to the buyers. Condo associations in Virginia are expected to study their long-term repair needs and plan for future expenses. Condo associations in Virginia are expected to study their long-term repair needs and plan for future expenses. If the building needs a new roof, new elevators, major plumbing work, or concrete repairs, and it has not saved enough money, that money has to come from somewhere. And that somewhere may mean a surprise bill for you. That is why the resale package matters. Before buying, you should review the association documents, the budget, the reserve information, rules, and any available meeting minutes carefully. Do not treat those documents as paperwork you skim after falling in love with the condo. You can replace the countertops. You cannot personally fix a poorly managed condo building. I know, talking about reserve studies and resale packages is not as fun as looking at floor plans and amenities. Trust me, this is the part where you either make a smart purchase or a very expensive mistake. So let's keep moving. A condo is also a trade-off in control. Depending on the community, you may have restrictions that involve pets, rentals, short-term rentals like Airbnb, balcony use, flooring materials, noise, renovation hours, moving procedures, parking, electrical vehicle charging, storage, grills, and deliveries. Some buyers barely notice these rules, while other buyers feel frustrated almost immediately. The issue is not whether the rules are objectively good or bad. The issue is whether those rules fit the life that you're planning to live in the condo. Amenities can make condo living feel like a lifestyle upgrade. A pool, a gym, a rooftop deck, a concierge, tennis court. These can be meaningful benefits, but do not pay for a fantasy version of your life. If you swim 3 times a week, a pool may be very valuable to you. If you travel frequently, a secure building and front desk may be extremely helpful. If you never exercise in the building gym and never use the party room, those amenities may simply be increasing your monthly fee. A long list of amenities is not always a selling point. Value depends on whether those amenities improve your life. One of the most common questions I get is, do condos in Northern Virginia appreciate as well as townhouses or detached homes? And the answer I always give is that it depends. Single-family homes often benefit from the scarcity and value of the land. Townhouses appeal to buyers who want more space but are not ready to take on the cost or maintenance of a detached home. Northern Virginia condos can absolutely appreciate. Performance varies substantially by the location, building quality, the monthly fee, maintenance, amenities, and the competition from nearby inventory. A condo very close to Metro with reasonable fees, attractive amenities, and good management may remain very appealing, whereas a dated unit in a poorly maintained building with rising fees and deferred maintenance may struggle. Northern Virginia offers dramatically different condo lifestyles. In Ballston, Clarendon, and Courthouse in North Arlington, the attraction may be Metro, restaurants, coffee shops, and a more active neighborhood feel. In Roslyn, it may be the short commute into DC, beautiful skyline views, Georgetown access, and proximity to trails. In Pentagon City, Crystal City National Landing, it may be Metro, shopping, Reagan National Airport, and quick access into DC. In Old Town Alexandria, the appeal maybe historic charm, restaurants, the waterfront, and walkability. In Carlisle or near Eisenhower Avenue, it may be metro access and a newer, more urban atmosphere. And in Alexandria's West End, communities such as Watergate at Landmark or Alexandria Knowles West offer a different equation. More space, mature landscaping, amenities, and convenience to major commuter routes, often at a different price point. In Tyson's, a condo may appeal to someone who wants proximity to the major employment centers, metro, shopping, and newer amenities. Some buyers want luxury. Some condo buyers want convenience. Some just want a lower maintenance alternative to an expensive nearby detached home. In other parts of Fairfax County, buyers may find garden-style condos, townhouse-style condos, or metro-adjacent communities that offer a practical balance between affordability and convenience. Now, a condo may not be the right choice if you strongly want a private yard. You need extensive storage, you want a large garage or workshop, you dislike shared walls or elevators, you want maximum renovation flexibility, you can't tolerate rules, or you expect to need substantially more space soon. Here's the blunt truth. Some buyers purchase a condo because it is the only property type that they can afford in their preferred location. That can still be a very smart decision. However, do not talk yourself into a lifestyle that you're going to resent. Here is the lifestyle trap. Some buyers choose the largest home that they can afford because it looks like the most responsible decision. More bedrooms, more square footage, more storage, a larger yard. On paper, it looks like more value. But if that home adds hours to your commute, fills your weekend with chores and maintenance, or forces you to live far away from the places that you actually enjoy, that extra square footage may not improve your life at all. It may quietly take over your life. The opposite can also happen. A Northern Virginia buyer may choose a condo because the location is exciting and the monthly payment appears manageable. And then 6 months later, the buyer can feel boxed in by the lack of storage, shared walls, or limited outdoor space. The right question is not, how much house can I afford? Better questions are, how do I want to spend my time? How much maintenance do I realistically want? How important is my commute? Do I value a yard more than walkability? Will I actually use the condo amenities? You are not simply buying square footage. You are buying a lifestyle. And in Northern Virginia, choosing the right lifestyle may be far more important than choosing the largest property. If you are trying to decide between a condo, a townhouse, and a detached home in Northern Virginia, I would be happy to help you think through the trade-offs. Every buyer is different, and sometimes the right decision is not always the most obvious one. You can reach me at brian@brianblock.com. And if you found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel for more practical advice about Northern Virginia neighborhoods, housing options, and making smarter real estate decisions. And if you want to see how dramatically your housing options change depending on your budget and your location, watch my other videos on what your money actually buys in Northern Virginia. The difference between a condo in Arlington, a townhouse in Alexandria, and a detached home in Springfield may be much larger than you expect.